Morning, all my dear students. Very good morning. I have a question for you. Did you see magic ever in your life? Oh, yes. Oh, no. What kind of magic that you are imagining? I don't know. I'm not talking here the magic about that magic where the magicians and jugglers perform their magic on the stages or in the circus. I'm not talking about that magic, which are the black and white magic. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the magical words, which can change we can change the world, we can change the society. I think perhaps because of this title on saying please, you could have an idea about that what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some words, the words of courtesy, which can change the world. That word has the power. The word have the power to change the world. These words are enough to change the heart of man. It can drastically change the situation if you use this word in your dialogue or in your communication, in your conversation. Which are that words? That words are thank you, sorry, please, excuse me, could you please, may I, pardon me, am I wrong? If you use these kinds of words, of course, there are a number of words like this, and these words are changed as per the language changes. What we are talking about is talking about English language. And these are the words that embellish your society, that decorate your society. If you use or if you imbibe this word in your personality, in your talk, if you use these words in your talk, then definitely you can embellish. Your personality will be very fine. Some traits are there that make you different. Some positive traits are there, some negative traits are there. Which are the positive traits? Positive traits in the sense some good qualities of the human being that make one good. It is not about your money. It is not about your farm, hot acres land you have. It's not about some other thing. It's about the trait. For example, wise, sagacious, hushar, humble, meek, namra, benevolent, who is very kind to others. In Marathi we can say that उपकारो जो दुसऱ्यावरती दया करत असतो. Nine, credulous, भोळसर, generous, once again to kind to others, जो इतरांना मदत करत असतो. Patronizing in the sense once again who is kind and who is helping to someone, that is called the patronizing. Servile or submissive or subservient, who is always boys and asking that yeah, okay, I'm ready to do your work. Humorous, very funny. These are the traits that decorate your personality. These are some ornates. दागिने ज्याला आम्ही म्हणत असतो. If you accept this and imbibe it and use in your talks, so definitely it will change your personality. As well as certain peoples are there who are carrying or who exist with these negative traits. What are the negative traits? Aggressive. People or the society does not like this kind of people. Aggressive in the sense very haughty or very cunning fellow. Conniving, once again deceit fellow. जे अतिशय उग्र, अग्रेसिव्ह म्हणजे अतिशय उग्र किंवा तापट, सॉसी, उर्मट अशा प्रकारचे लोक असतात. Conniving, once again deceitful, फसवे लोक असतात. Sly, once again that same kind of people who feel good in the bads of others. Insensitive are the people who are too much insensitive, असंवेदनशील असतात, who are not concerned about the problems of the people. Egoistic, because of only ego, they are far away from the people, and we can call them proudy over their work or over their asset or some other things. Manipulating, who intercede always in the problems of others. Boastful, we can call it boastful, the braggart who always make the things from small to the huge without having any meaning of that, called the boastful persons, scheming once again, deceitful person, cunning persons, and these are some qualities. The negative qualities always make some blotch over your personality. People does not like, or people do not like to have this kind of people around them or juxtapose to them. So we should always skip this kind of negative traits and always favor this positive. In fact, we should imbibe these qualities or assimilate these qualities or these positive traits in our personality. Apart from all these, etiquettes and manners are very important for the person to live in the society. You know that etiquettes and manners, these are very simple words, but I'm telling you that etiquettes and manners can change the world. It's just like the flowers which spread the fragrance in the society, the fragrance of the goodness in the society. So we must follow these etiquettes and manners. There are some examples, 6 examples in front of us. They are asked us to whether it is right or wrong. First is to receive a phone call while you are in lecture or class. Of course, when we conduct the lecture, someone should not pick up his call because he's engaged in lecture. So it is completely wrong. Second thing is to knock before you enter your principal office. Of course, these are some etiquettes and manners. When you are entering someone's home or in the office of the principal, we must knock and take his permission, to seek his permission to enter in his, because he might have busy in some work. So we should take his permission from the principal by knocking over his door. To thank the person who offer you tea or coffee. Of course, it is our humble duty to thank someone when we get a service from someone. It's our pride duty. That please words or that thank words give a smile to someone else, and so that's why it's a very important word. So we must thank, that it's the right word or say right sentence. To be polite and courteous to others, we must. Being a social person, it is our duty to be polite with others, to be courteous with others, because these are the normal things, or these are the normal expectations that can be expected by the people or by the human being. To leave the classroom without the teacher permission, I know that you have never done with your teacher or in your school or in colleges. It's completely wrong. If you feel that there is some urgent work, of course you need to seek a permission from your teacher. To occupy the seats reserved for the ladies or physically challenged or elderly people, or on the bus or a train. Of course, there are certain seats in the bus or in the on the railways that because of their incapability or because of certain reasons, some rules and regulations are there, and that's why these certain or specific seats are reserved for the ladies or the physically challenged, because you know that ladies are carrying their small kids over their cuddles, so they need to sit, or we must give some priority for the ladies to acquire or to hand over their seats. Physically challenged, we know that they are having some problem in the walk, or they can't stand too long time. So we must prefer, and there is no such a thing of the preferring. Being a human, it's our duty to prefer some seats, but it's their right to occupy, or we must hand over their seats to them rather to occupy their seat. So of course, here it is asked to us that which are wrong and which are right. So we have gone through that. So it is all about the etiquettes, manners, and ill manners, and how the lived impact over our life, how it can change the atmosphere of the society. All we have to see in the Gardiner's own saying, please. So before going to start our essay, we must acquaint with the writer, that who has written this and how this writer is. Alfred George Gardiner was born in 1865 and died on 1946. He was born on Chelmsford in Essex in 1965. He started his literary career as a journalist at the age of 37. He was appointed editor of the Daily News, London. So initially he started his career as a journalist, and thereafter at the age of 37, and later on he was appointed as the editor of the newspaper Daily News. Under the pseudonyms, pseudonyms means pen name, or in Marathi we can call it topan now. Many pseudonyms are there in Marathi or in Marathi language, or many such writers are there. That pseudonyms is Alpha of the Plug. So he did work there under the pseudonyms of the Alpha of the Plug. He made regular contribution. He made a regular contribution to the Daily News, the Manchester Evening News. So he made his contribution of his pain, of his intellect to the Daily News, and the second newspaper, that Manchester Evening News, etc. His essays are uniformly elegant, graceful, and humorous. So how exactly his style is, we came to know when we'll go forward and we'll see that on saying please. So exactly there is a glisten of his literary work with the elegancy, gracefulness, and humor. The Pillar of Society, Pebbles on the Shore, Metaphors and Leaves in the Wind are some of the best known writing, and it is quite popular and renowned writing of this A.J. Gardiner. His uniqueness lies in the ability to teach the basic truth of life in an essay and amazing manner. He raised the question of morality in everyday life. So how he actually put forth, or he emphasizes here on some of the point, or some point, that how this morality, this ethics, these manners, and this etiquette plays a very vital role in the society. If someone are there who skip to use this kind of etiquettes and manners, then he need to face a lot of hardness, or a lot of things that make worsen his life. So that's why one must, and he presented here in a very amazing manner, that amusing खेळत्या वेळी मॅनर्समध्ये त्यांनी ते अतिशय मनाला करमेल अशा प्रकारच्या वातावरणामध्ये किंवा त्या पद्धतीने त्यांनी ते सगळं इथे मांडलेलं आहे. In saying please, he points out the value of the good manners in social life and emphasizes the importance of courtesy and the politeness in the daily behavior. He shows that how polite speech and the manners sweeten the atmosphere around, and how the discourtesy and ill manners spoiled or polluted. He has presented here the couple of things that what's happened if someone use discourtesy and the politeness in the daily behavior when we encountered with the people, how that sweeten the atmosphere, and as the contrary of that, when someone does not use the same things or behave in the society with ill manner, then definitely it will pollute the atmosphere of the society. And this is exactly the intention, that why should we embedded our personality with such a things. So this is all about the introduction of a writer. So certain images that you are looking or you are watching besides of the text, that when a listman is there, then one couple is there who quarrels with each other, and below than that there is one man who is applying the sorry by holding his earlobe exactly to someone. So how that plays a crucial role in this happy life, or to worsen the life, we all have to see in on saying please. Let's start. The young liftman in the city office who threw a passenger out of his lift the other morning and was fined for the offense was undoubtedly in the wrong. What's happened? They're all saying please open in the lift. You know lift? आपण बरेच वेळा मोठ्या मोठ्या अपार्टमेंटमध्ये आपण ते बघत असतो, जे आपल्याला खालून एक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पद्धतीची अशा प्रकारची एक चेंबर असतं, जे आपल्याला ज्या चेंबरचे काही स्विचेस आपण दाबल्यानंतर आपल्याला पहिल्या फ्लोअरपासून तर 100व्या डिझायर्ड फ्लोअरपर्यंत आपल्याला ते घेऊन बसेल. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक चेंबर रूम. a chamber of the room. The young liftman in the city office who threw a passenger out of his lift the other morning and was fined for the offense was undoubtedly in the wrong. What's happened? One liftman was there. You can see the liftman who wear the cap. This is called the liftman who operate lift, and this is who operate that lift and help the people to go up and down. This is called the liftman. So the young liftman in the city office who threw the passenger out of his lift another morning and was fined for the offense was undoubtedly in the wrong. So what's happened? One passenger or one man came in that lift and asked the passenger that I wanted to go somewhere or the up. But what's happened? That a passenger or that a liftman threw away that passenger out of the lift. What's the reason behind it? It was a question of the please. The complainant entering the lift said, "Stop." The liftman demanded, "Stop, please." And this concession being refused, he not only declined to comply with the instruction, but he hurled the passenger out of the lift. What happened here? One passenger came here. One passenger went in a lift. There was a liftman, and he asked that, "Stop." That liftman thought that how rude man he is. So he asked, "Please," said, "Stop, please." But the man refused to say please. Perhaps he was indignant there or some other reason. He denied to say please. So he was in outraged manner. That liftman in outraged manner threw away that passenger out of the lift. And that was only the question of the please. The passenger said that ask stop please. Say stop please. But the next man said that I will not say please, just he said stop. And that was the matter of the quarrel, and that's why this passenger threw away that passenger out of this lift. This was the matter. काय झालं? याची सुरुवात जी होती ती लिफ्टमध्ये होती. लिफ्ट कशाला म्हणतात मी तुम्हाला सांगितलेलं आहे की एक मनुष्य येतो, एक पॅसेंजर येतो, त्या लिफ्टमध्ये जातो आणि त्या लिफ्टमनला म्हणतो टॉप. लिफ्टमन म्हणतो की टॉप प्लीज म्हणा, बिहेव लाईक अ मॅन, टॉप प्लीज म्हणा. तो म्हणाला नाही म्हणणार. त्या लिफ्टमनला इतका राग आला की त्याने त्या पॅसेंजरला बाहेर फेकून दिलं. तुम्ही या इमेजमध्ये कदाचित बघत असाल की लिफ्टमॅन वरती आहे आणि तो एक खाली बसलेला मनुष्य दिसतो. कदाचित त्याने त्याला बाहेर फेकून दिलं. दुसऱ्या दिवशी द कॉम्प्लेनंट लॉन्च अ कंप्लेंट इन द पोलीस स्टेशन अँड अनडाउटली that liftman was fined for the same act, because there is no such a legal system to follow. If someone does not follow that etiquette and manner, there is no such a legal system to keep a fine or to ask someone to keep a fine someone else. की अशी कोणती लॉ निर्माण झालेली नाही आहे की जेव्हा तुम्ही एटिकेट्स आणि मॅनर्स तुम्ही पाळणार नाहीत तेव्हा तुमच्यावरती किंवा आम्ही त्या कोणाला सक्ती करू शकत नाही की या नियमानुसार तुम्ही प्लीज म्हटलं पाहिजे आणि तुम्ही एटिकेट्स आणि मॅनर्स फाईन केले पाहिजे. आणि म्हणून जेव्हा त्या लिफ्टमनने त्या माणसाला बाहेर फेकून दिलं तेव्हा त्या लिफ्टमनवरती दुसऱ्या दिवशी चार्ज लागला की तुम्हाला अशा प्रकारचं काम करता येणार नाही. वी कॅन नॉट कॉम्पेल समवन टू आस्क टू मेक समवन that you should follow some etiquettes and manners, and this was the matter. This, of course, was carrying a comment on manner too far. This manner or this event went too far in the society, and this was the matter of the discussion. That what can be happen if someone does not follow the rules and etiquettes. These are not rules or etiquettes and the manners. Discourtesy is not a legal offense and it does not excuse assault and battery. Of course, discourtesy in the sense असौजन्य ज्याला किंवा ज्याला आम्ही म्हणतो की असभ्य वागणे म्हणजे सभ्य कोण तर जे सगळे हे कर्टेसी फॉलो करत असतो. डिस्कर्टेसी इज नॉट अ लीगल ऑफेन्स. कायद्यामध्ये अशा प्रकारची कुठली तरतूद केल्या गेली नाही आहे की कोणी जर डिस्कर्टेसी केली तर त्याला कायद्यानुसार काही शिक्षा होईल. And it does not excuse assault and battery. Assault in the sense to hurt someone, with abusement or to assault in the sense हल्ला करणे, दुसऱ्यावरती हल्ला करणे, हल्ला करणे विथ थ्रेटनिंग. म्हणजे अशा प्रकारचा कुठला गुन्हा नाही आहे किंवा अशा प्रकारचा कोणत्या कायद्यामध्ये तरतूद नाही आहे की तुम्ही दुसऱ्यावरती हल्ला कराल, त्याला धमकी द्याल. काय? जेव्हा त्याने एखाद्या वेळेस कोणते एटिकेट्स अँड मॅनर्स फॉलो जर नाही केले. दॅट्स नॉट टेलिंग यू दॅट देर इज नो सच अ लीगल अरेंजमेंट ऑफ द लॉ which can ask someone you must follow else you will be fined or you will be punished, you will be penalized by this or that way. If a burglar breaks into my house and I knock him down, the law will acquit me. काय उदाहरण काय सांगितलं? If some burglar, बुरटे चोर असतात त्यांना burglar म्हणतात. If some burglar break my house, came into my house and in retaliation of the same, if I hurt him, if I'm blight her, of course, I will be acquitted. Even then that, if I'm physically assaulted, it will permit me to retaliate with a reasonable violence. And if that man hurt me, then I have sound authority by the government that I can retaliate that man with a reasonable violence. की त्याने जर मला थोडीशी इजा केली तर मला तीच इजा त्यालासुद्धा एक रिझनेबल व्हायलन्स म्हणजे काय, त्याला इजा करणे एका विशिष्ट मर्यादेपर्यंत मला तशा प्रकारचे अधिकार राहतील. परंतु ॲज फार ॲज इटिकेट्स अँड मॅनर्स आर कन्सर्न, इट डज नॉट. But it does not this because the burglar and assailant have broken quite definite commands of the law. But no such a legal system could attempt to legislate against the bad manners or could sanction to use of the violence against something which does not itself recognize as a legal punishment offense. But there are no such legal systems. There are no such penal codes of the government. There are no such rules and regulation by the government to compel someone that you must follow these etiquettes and manners. We cannot ask someone these etiquettes and manners or ask someone or to compel someone that you must follow these etiquettes and manners, else you will be penalized. No such systems are existed in this society right from the age of the engineer Gardiner towards the 21st century. No such systems are there. We must admit that the law is reasonable. It would never do if we were at liberty to box the people's ears because we did not like the behavior or the tone of their voices or the scores of their faces. You know, many events that happen with us. If we go in the buses, you know that many such irresponsible people are there who use their mobile phone, who used to play the songs in their mobile phone with a very screeching noise. But we can just ask, we can humbly request them that okay, if it's possible, will you please decrease the volume of your song so it will be fine for us. But if he does not accept our request, we cannot compel him that to, or we cannot register this case in the police station or somewhere. Okay, if this is so, many such faces are there. We do not like to see their faces. You know, काही लोकांचे चेहरे असतात की सतत 12 वाजलेले असतात. काही लोकांचे चेहरे आम्हाला पाहायलाच आवडत नाही. काही लोकांचा वागणूक आम्हाला आवडत नाही. सोसायटीमध्ये बरेच वेळा असतं असे इल मॅनर लोक असतात ज्यांचा आम्हाला खूप त्रास असतो. परंतु त्यांच्यासाठी आम्ही एखाद्या पोलीस स्टेशनमध्ये जाऊन कंप्लेंट करू शकत नाही. त्यांच्यासाठी आम्ही अशा प्रकारचं कोणतं काम करू शकत नाही की त्यांना कोणती शिक्षा मिळावी. आम्ही प्रेमाने त्यांना विनंती करू शकतो की भाऊ, तुम्ही तुमच्या मोबाईलचा फोन थोडासा आवाज कमी कराल का? तुमच्या जे स्क्रीचिंग व्हॉईसमध्ये सगळे जे गाणे वाजतात ते त्यांचा आम्हाला त्रास होतो, तुम्ही ते करू शकता का? त्यांनी ऐकलं तर ठीक आहे, नाही तर आम्हाला सगळं ते टॉलरेट करून समोर जावं लागतं. असंच आमच्यासोबतही होतं की आम्हाला अशा प्रकारचे चेहरे असतात किंवा कोणाचं बिहेवियर आम्हाला आवडत नाही. आम्ही त्याला म्हणू शकत नाही की भाऊ रे, तुझा चेहरा मला आवडत नाही, तू माझ्या चेहऱ्यासमोरून निघून जा. तू अशा प्रकारे तुझा आवाज बिलकुल घाणेरडा आहे, तुम्हाला आवडत नाही, त्याच्यामुळे तुम्हाला इथे नको आहे. ओके, कोणाला फार चेहरा रागीटला असतो, आम्हाला त्याचे चेहरा पाहायचा नसतो, हे आम्हाला आमचं ॲडजस्ट करावं. वी हॅव टू अक्लमटाईज, वी हॅव टू कम्प्लाय विथ द सिच्युएशन. वी डू नॉट आस्क समवन एल्स, ओके, टू गो अवे फ्रॉम दिस प्लेसेस. नो सच अ सर्टन laws are there our feast would be, if this happened, then our feast would never be idle, and the gutters of the city would run with the blood all the day. And if this is the permissible, if this is a permissible, then our feast and then our feast would never be idle. आणि असं जर झालं असतं तर आमचे जे हात असते ना किंवा आमचे जे फिस्ट असते ना कधी खाल्लेले असते ना आम्ही सतत इतर लोकांना फिस्ट केली असते. वी ऑलवेज यूज युअर हँड टू स्मॅश समवन एल्स अँड द गटर ऑफ द सिटी वूड रन अवे विथ ब्लड ऑल द डे. आणि आमचे जे नाले असते ते सतत कशाने झाले असते, सगळे गटाराने भरलेले, गटार जे असते ते सगळे रक्ताने माखलेले असते. बट thanks to God or thanks to the government that this is not so in or these kind of rules are not existed in this society. We have to tolerate it because our society or the government also made it thinking over that, but none can do over this. I may be as uncivil as I may please, and the law will protect me against violent retaliation. I may be as uncivil as I may please, up to my satisfaction. I can be uncivilized with the people because no such a law that asks me or that penalize me, because the law will protect me against violent retaliation. No one can harm me, so can I be civilized with the people up to my satisfaction. ओके, मला वाटेल तेव्हा अशा प्रकारचा अनसिव्हिलाइज मी होऊ शकतो, परंतु त्याच्याकरता याचं कारण कसं आहे, याचं कारण असं आहे की त्याच्याकरता कोणते लॉ मला पनिशमेंट करू शकत नाही. इनफॅक्ट त्या पनिशमेंटपासून लोकांनी जर मला कोणी अशा प्रकारचं वागलं तर त्याच्यापासून माझं प्रोटेक्शन होऊ शकतं. आय मे बी हॉटी ऑर बुरिश मीन्स सो rude or uncultured, ill mannered, and there is no such a penalty to pay except the penalty of being written down and an ill-mannered fellow. There might be a speculation in the society about me. See that how uncivilized this man is, but no such a penalty is there. Being a boorish man, being an ill-mannered man, being a haughty man. So मला लोक नाव ठेवू शकतात की हा किती अनसिव्हिलाइज माणूस आहे, हा किती असभ्य माणूस आहे, how indecent he is, but there are no such a law which will penalize me. The law does not compel me to say please or to attune my voice to the other people's sensibilities. Any more than that says that I shall not wax my mustache, dye my hair, or wear ringlet down my pocket. Even further to that, the law does not compel me to say please, even up to me. No such a law are made in the society or by the government that law asks me that we must ask someone to say please. No, if I do not like, I cannot ask. There is no such a detention to me that I must say please to someone or attune my voice with the other sensibilities. If someone raises a question over my voice, oh man, oh gentleman, please down your voice. Okay, it's up to me whether to listen him or not. जर हे माझ्या संदर्भात तसंच घडतं, मी प्लीज म्हणावं असा कोणताही लॉ आतापर्यंत निर्माण झालेला नाही आहे, मग की अशी मला कोणी सक्ती करू शकत नाही. किंवा जर कोणी मला सांगितलं की हो तुमचा आवाज जरा थोडासा जास्त होतोय, मला डिस्टर्ब होतोय, तुम्ही तुमचा आवाज करा, माझ्याकडे सुद्धा अशाच प्रकारची गोष्ट होईल की मी असं म्हणणार, मला अशी कोणत्या प्रकारचं बंधन नाही आहे की मी त्यांच्या होकाराला होकारच मिळावा, त्यांचा ऐकावा आणि माझा मी आवाज थोडा करावा. मला जसं पाहिजे तशा प्रकारचं मी अनसिव्हिलाइज वागू शकतो. इवन फर्दर टू दॅट or more than it says that I shall not wax my mustache or dye my hair or wear ringlet down my back. Even further that, no one asks me to wax my mustache. If someone does not like my mustache, no one compel me to wax your mustache. डाम यार, ओ भाऊ तुमचे केस खूप पांढरे दिसत आहेत, थोडंसं डाय करत जा, तुम्ही केलाच पाहिजे, मला असंही कोणी म्हणू शकत नाही. और wear ringlet down my back, or someone to ask to set your braid of hair in such a way or to set a coil of your hair in such a way. No one asks some अशा प्रकारची कोणी, because all this is a personal matter and no one can interfere in our personal matter. It does not recognize the laceration of our feeling, laceration in the sense to cut or to tear, to hurt someone. It does not recognize the laceration or feeling as a case of the compensation. So of feelings, if we are hurt by someone, if we are hurted by someone, then there is no laceration of feeling and we cannot get a compensation from the law. जर कोणी आपली भावना दुखावली, आपल्याला कोणी थोडं थोडं पाडून जर बोललं, तर या संदर्भात मला पोलीस स्टेशनमध्ये जाऊन अशा प्रकारचे कोणती केस दर्ज करता येत नाही की याने माझं मन दुखावलं, याने मला थोडंसं वाईटच बोललं, याने मला टीझिंगच केली, असं मला कोणासंदर्भात केस रजिस्टर करता येत नाही. अशा प्रकारचे कोणतेही लॉ आजपर्यंत निर्माण झालेले नाही. There is no allowances for the moral and the intellectual damages in this matter. Intellectual damages means psychological damages that done by someone. जर आम्हाला कोणी बौद्धिकरित्या कोणी त्रास दिला, आम्हाला जर कोणी आमचे मॉरल्स किंवा इथिक्स कोणी पाळले नाही आणि त्याच्यामुळे तर मला त्रास होत असेल, सो देर इज नो सच ए लॉ. देर इज नो सच अलाउन्सेस फॉर द मोरल अँड इंटेलेक्च्युअल डॅमेज इन दिस मॅटर. इट डज नॉट मीन दॅट दिस डॅमेजेस आर निग्लेजिबल. याचा अर्थ असा नाही आहे की तुम्हाला जर कोणी त्रास दिला आहे किंवा तुम्हाला जर कोणी मानसिक त्रास दिला आहे, तुम्हाला जर कोणी तुमचे मॉरल्स आणि इथिक्स या सोसायटीमध्ये पाडले नाही, ऑफकोर्स दिस डज नॉट मीन दॅट डॅमेजेस आर निग्लेजिबल. हे त्याच्याकडे दुर्लक्ष अनहिडेड करण्यासारखे निश्चितच नाही. It is probable that the least man was much more acutely hurt by what he regarded as a slur upon his social standing that he would have been if he had a kick on his shin, for which he could have got legal redress. See, understand this sentence very carefully, because the style of the AG Gardiner is something different. We need to make some effort to understand and to go in the root of the sentence. So be careful. This does not mean that the damages are negligible. It is probable that the liftman was much more acutely hurt by what he regarded as a slur upon his social standing. See, that when that the passenger were thrown away by the liftman. The liftman expected at the time to say please. It was expected by also that passenger to say please, but it did not follow by that man. So it was really hurted. It was a stigma over the mind or the soul of that liftman. And it was much more severe than the physical assailant or the physical assault, by what he regarded as slur upon his social standing than he would have been if he had a kick on the shin. Shin म्हणजे माहिती आहे का तुम्हाला, आपल्या गुडघ्यापासून पायापर्यंतचा जो भाग असतो त्याच्या मागच्या भागाला काय म्हणतात, मागच्या भागाला जो त्याला मी पोटरी म्हणतो त्याला काफ म्हणतात, आणि समोरचा जो कडक ज्याला आपण हाड असतो ना त्याला आपण शीन म्हणत असतो. त्या माणसाने एखाद्या माझ्या शीनवरती थोडासा असॉल्टने हल्ला केला असता तर कदाचित ती जखम माझ्या मनातून निघून गेली असती. बट व्हॉट एव्हर द सोशल स्टेटस आय हॅव अँड व्हॉट एव्हर द नॉर्मल एक्सपेक्टेशन्स आय हॅव फ्रॉम द सोशल बिंग, इट वॉज हार्टेड बाय दॅट मॅन. मला खूप माझ्या मनाला त्याचा धक्का लागला. कदाचित जखम झाली असती तर मला त्याच्याबद्दल लिगल रिड्रेस किंवा त्याचं कॉम्पेन्सेशन मला त्याचं मिळालंसुद्धा असतं. परंतु जी मनाला जी जखम झाली आहे ती जखम पण फार मोठी असते आणि त्याच्यापासून कोणते कॉम्पेन्सेशन किंवा मनाला जखम झाली तर त्याचे कोणते कॉम्पेन्सेशनसुद्धा मला मिळत नाही. The pain of the kick on the shin soon passes away, but the pain of the wound to our self-respect or vanity may poison to the whole day. See, such many examples there are in the society, or that events take place with ourselves, that someone hurt us psychologically, someone disrespects us, someone insults us, and that insulting words always hovered our mind through the day until and unless we pour or we vomit that poisoning effect with someone. की एखाद्याने जर आमची इन्सल्ट केली असेल, इतर लोकांसमोर जर आमची इन्सल्ट केली असेल, बघा ना त्या सायकोलॉजिकल तो आम्हाला अशा प्रकारचा धक्का मिळतो. दिवसभर तेच विचार आमच्या डोक्यावरती सतत फिरत राहतात, गिरट्या घालत राहतात, ते जात नाही. जोपर्यंत आम्ही एखाद्या माझ्या जवळच्या मित्राला, आई वडिलांना असेल, बहिणीला असेल, पत्नीला असेल, जोपर्यंत सांगत नाही ते सतत गिरट्या घालत राहतात. जोपर्यंत मी ते वॉमिट म्हणजे खरं काही उलट्या करणं नव्हे, तो साहित्यिक शब्द आम्ही त्याला म्हणू शकतो, आमच्या मनातले भडास जोपर्यंत आम्ही कोणाकडे काढत नाही तोपर्यंत ती सगळं चालू राहतं. बी एक्स्ट्रॉवर्ट, दॅट्स वाय आय एम टेलिंग यू, बी एक्स्ट्रॉवर्ट, नॉट टू बी इंट्रॉवर्ट. इंट्रॉवर्ट अँड एक्स्ट्रॉवर्ट इन द सेन्स खुल्या मनाचा मनुष्य असला पाहिजे. मनातली घुटमळ जोपर्यंत आम्ही बाहेर टाकत नाही, जो टाकतो त्याला आम्ही एक्स्ट्रॉवर्ट म्हणतो, बहिर्मुखी आम्ही ज्याला म्हणतो. आणि इंट्रोवर्ट असतो. माहिती आहे का तुम्हाला की एखाद्या वेळेस मला वॉमिटिंग सारखं होते, आम्ही आणि सतत जे अंदाज घेत राहिलो तर माझी तब्येत बिघडल्याशिवाय राहणार नाही. मला अस्वस्थ आहे. इट मे ट्वेल्विश टू मी. I became 12ish over this situation. So I need to vomit all that poisonous thoughts from my mind or from my soul. Until that, I could not get the relaxation. तर अशीच काही जी गोष्ट होती की द पेन ऑफ द किक ऑन द शिन सून पासेस अवे. याला जर कोणी फिजिकल असेल त्याच्यावरती हल्ला जर केला असता, याच्या शिनवरती किंवा पायावरती कोणी मारलं असतं तर इट मे सून पास अवे. बट द पेन ऑफ द वुंड म्हणजे जखम टू आवर सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट, माझ्या आत्म्याला किंवा माझ्या स्वाभिमानाला जी जखम झालेली आहे, माझ्या स्वाभिमानाला, व्हॅनिटी म्हणजे पुन्हा तेच प्राईड, माझा गर्व म्हणजे तो गर्व नाही, माझा स्वतःचा अभिमान. मग व्हॅनिटी मे पॉइझन होल दे. बट तो एक जखम जी होती ती दिवसभर सगळी चालत राहिली. I can imagine the liftman then the relief of throwing the author of his wound out of the lift, brooding over the insult by the hours, and visiting his wife in the evening as the only way of restoring his equilibrium. I can imagine the liftman genuine the relief of throwing the author of his wound. Author of his wound, author means ज्याने त्या माणसाने, तो पॅसेंजर म्हणजे ऑथर ऑफ हिज वुंड म्हणजे जखम ज्याने दिली आहे तो मनुष्य. आय कॅन इमॅजिन दॅट लिफ्ट मॅन दे नीड द रिलीफ ऑफ थ्रोईंग द ऑथर ऑफ हिज वुंड आउट ऑफ द लिफ्ट, ब्रूडिंग ओवर वॉट एव्हर दॅट वुंड दॅट गिवन बाय दॅट पॅसेंजर टू दॅट लिफ्ट मॅन. He could not deny the relief of that. Rather that it was hovering over and over till the hours over his mind, until he visit his wife, vomit towards his wife. Only after that he can restore his equilibrium. तोपर्यंत त्याचं मानसिक संतुलन जोपर्यंत चांगलं होणार नाही, जोपर्यंत तो त्याच्या पत्नीला सगळं काही बोलणार नाही. वी नीड समवन. That's why we form the society. That's why we need the vicinity of the family member to get a relaxation from someone else. Until that, this liftman, see this liftman, and this is the picture of this lift. This is the lift, and this is the liftman. Until we vomit our poisonous thought, the causes of uneasiness to someone, till that moment we cannot feel relaxed to ourselves. आणि म्हणून हा जोपर्यंत आपल्या पत्नीकडे जाणार नाही, जोपर्यंत हा वॉमिट करणार नाही, तोपर्यंत त्याला त्याच्यातून समाधान मिळणार नाही किंवा त्याचं मानसिक संतुलन, इक्विलिब्रियम म्हणजे मानसिक संतुलन त्याला मिळणार. फॉर देर आर फ्यू थिंग्स मोर कॅचिंग द बॅड मॅनर्स and the bad manner, bad tempers and bad manners. You know said, for there are few things more catching means लागण करणारे, कॉन्टेजिनियस. कॅचिंग म्हणजे खरोखर काही झेलणारे वगैरे नाही. फॉर देअर आर फ्यू थिंग्स मोर कॅचिंग दॅट बॅड मॅनर्स अँड बॅड टेम्पर. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, वेन सर अँथोनी ॲब्सोल्यूट बुलिएड कॅप्टन ॲब्सोल्यूट. इथे एक उदाहरण आपल्याला दिलेलं आहे. आपल्याला ते उदाहरण बघायची काळजीपूर्वक बघा की हाऊ दॅट बॅड मॅनर्स सर्क्युलेट फ्रॉम टॉप टू द बॉटम, हाऊ दॅट ट्रिकल डाऊन when some event take place in the society, that event trickle from up to down, from top to down. Here's the one example of when Sir Anthony Absolute bullied Captain Absolute. The latter went out and bullied his man Fag, whereupon Fag went down the downstairs and kicked the page boy. See the example. When there is a top authority, and the name of that top authority is Sir Anthony Absolute. He bullied means धमकावणे, थोडंसं जोराने बोलणे, रागावणे. When Sir Anthony Absolute bullied Captain Absolute, being the junior of that Anthony Absolute, he could not retaliate the bullied. He could not retaliate the Anthony Absolute. So far, that hardness of his temper or the hardness of his mind, that trickling down अँड दॅट्स ही वॉज बुलिड टू द हिज मॅन, की जेव्हा एक टॉप ऑथॉरिटी, अँथोनी ॲब्सोल्यूट टॉप ऑथॉरिटी होता, तेव्हा त्याने त्याच्या खालच्या ज्युनियर असणाऱ्या कॅप्टन ॲब्सोल्यूटला जेव्हा त्याने रागवलं किंवा धमकावलं, तो त्याला बोलू शकला नाही कारण तो त्याचा सिनियर होता. द लॅटर वेंट आउट अँड बुलिड हिज मॅन. तो कॅप्टन ॲब्सोल्यूट जो होता तो त्याच्या खालच्या माणसाकडे येतो, त्याला तो रागवतो अँड बुलिड हिज मॅन. That bullies man fag, whereupon the fag went out downstairs and kicked the page boy. आणि त्या कॅप्टन ॲब्सोल्यूटने ज्याला रागवलं तो मनुष्य काय तो, कारण तो त्याला रागवू शकत नाही कारण तो त्याच्यापेक्षा सिनियर होता. Then the fag went out downstairs and kicked the page boy. Then who was the junior of that fag? He was cold, or he was by all his anger. He was indignant about टुवर्ड्स दिस पेज बॉय. म्हणजे अशा प्रकारचा जो राग असतो किंवा जो संताप आलेला असतो तो वरतून खालपर्यंत, कारण जो ज्युनियर असतो तो वरच्यांना बोलू शकत नाही आणि म्हणून तो खाली ओघळत 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 समाजाच्या खालच्या डाऊन स्टिअरपर्यंत किंवा अतिशय बुडाची तो येत असतो. अशी घटना आपल्या समाजामध्ये नेहमी होत असतात. ॲज वी नो, प्रोबॅबली द मॅन हू सेड टॉप to the liftman was really only getting back on his employer who had not said good morning to him, because he himself had been handpicked at the breakfast by his wife, to whom the cook had been insolent because the housemaid answered her back. Once again, author A.G. Gardiner put here another example of her domestic life. Probably the man who said top to the liftman was really only getting back on his employer who had not said good morning to him. One example that given here, we must go through that. कदाचित तो लिफ्टमध्ये असणारा मनुष्य का संतापला आहे त्याचं कारण असं असू शकतं की त्याचा जो एम्प्लॉयर असेल याने त्याला गुड मॉर्निंग म्हटलेलं असेल म्हणून त्याला कदाचित राग आला असेल, म्हणून तो त्याच्यासाठी थोडासा उद्विग्न झालेला असेल किंवा थोडासा रागावला असेल. त्याच्यासोबत काय झालं, तो त्याच्या बॉसला बोलू शकला नाही, तो खाली आला, त्याने त्याचा संताप कोणावरती काढला, त्याने त्याचा संताप जो होता हा त्या लिफ्टमनवरती काढला. तो जो मनुष्य होता ज्याला लिफ्टमनने बाहेर फेकून दिलं होतं त्याच्यासोबत का बरं हे झालं असेल, कदाचित ही हिमसेल्फ हॅड बीन हँडपॅक्ड ॲट द ब्रेकफास्ट बाय हिज वाईफ. सकाळी सकाळी बायकोसोबत काही कुरकुर झालेली असेल. हँडपॅक्ड इन द सेन्स हु इज अटरली कंट्रोल ऑर हु इज कंट्रोल बाय हिज वाईफ. जो बायकोच्या मुठीमध्ये असतो पर्टिक्युलरली त्याला हँडपॅक म्हणत असतात. कदाचित बायकोने त्याला काही म्हटलं ब्रेकफास्टच्या वेळेस, तो त्याला तिला रिटॅलिएट करू शकला नाही म्हणून तो उद्विग्न झाला आणि तो समोर गेला, त्याने तसं म्हटलं. टू होम द कुक हॅड बीन इन्सोलंट. पत्नी कदाचित रागावली असेल कारण त्याच्या घरामधील जो काही कुक असेल किंवा त्याच्यासोबत अजून काही झालेलं असेल. टू होम द कुक हॅड बीन इन्सोलंट बिकॉज द हाऊस मेड हॅड अँसर्ड हर बॅक. कदाचित त्या कुकने काही चांगलं काम केलं, त्या कुकला कोणीतरी रागवलं. कोणी रागवलं? त्या घरामध्ये जी मोलकरीण असेल ते मोलकरीणपेक्षा निश्चितच कुकची जागा मोठी असते. इन्सोलंट म्हणजे पुन्हा व्हेरी र्यूड, इतरांसोबत वाईट वागणे. कदाचित तो प्रसंग घडला असेल कारण त्या घरातील मोलकरीण त्याला काही बोललं असेल. जे एकाचा संताप हा दुसऱ्यावरती जात असतो किंवा दुसऱ्यावरती तो असतो. ज्याप्रमाणे नाव इन दिस से दॅट हाऊ दिस कोरोना आर कंटॅजियस दॅट इन्फेक्टिंग द पीपल फ्रॉम वन टू अनदर, इन द सेम वे दिस इज द कंटॅजिनियस डिसीज. दिस इल मॅनर्स became the contagious disease of the society. If someone is indignant because of someone, then he become or he treat with some other people with the same respect, with the same ill manners, with the same discourtesy. This happened and this becomes spreading in the society like the conflagration. ज्याप्रमाणे समाजामध्ये किंवा जंगलामध्ये वणवा पोचतो त्याप्रमाणे अशा प्रकारचं कोरोनाप्रमाणे, जसं कोरोना सध्याच्या समाजामध्ये किंवा सध्याच्या युगामध्ये आपण बघतोय की एका माणसापासून त्याची लागण होते, तशाच प्रकारची डिस्कर्टेसीची आणि इल मॅनरची लागण कशा प्रकारे या समाजामध्ये झाली याचे दोन उदाहरणं लेखकांनी आपल्याला याच्यामध्ये दिलेले आहे. एक म्हणजे सर अँथनी ॲब्सोल्यूट, कशा प्रकारे त्यांच्या तो लोकांना कशा प्रकारे बुलेट करतो, आणि दुसरं उदाहरण आपल्याकडे होतं की या माणसासोबत काय झालं तर पत्नीसोबत काय झालं तर घरामध्ये तो जे काही वाद झाले असेल, त्याच्यानंतर तो कूक आणि त्याच्यानंतर घरातील मोलकरणी यांच्यामध्ये जे काही छोटे मोठे कुरकुर आणि भांडण झाले होते, यांच्यामध्ये जो एक लागण झालेली होती तीच लागण समोरपर्यंत त्या लिफ्टमॅनपर्यंत पोचली. म्हणजे 50-70 किलोमीटरपर्यंत ती घरापासून तर त्या लिफ्टपर्यंत, ऑफिसपर्यंत ती सगळी कुरकुर सगळी गेलेली होती. We infect the world with our ill humor, just as we infect people with our behavior, with our ill humor. How we infect the world. This is the infect means to impact, to leave the impact over someone. How do we behave with someone? If we do with someone with good or with goodness, it's okay. But we make the infection with other people with the ill humor. Bad manners probably do more to poison the stream of the general life than all the crimes of the calendar. If we go in the police stations and if we see the calculations of the crime of over all the years, we'll come to know that the crime of the ill humor, the crime of the discourtesy are more than the crimes that collected or that happened throughout the day or throughout the years. If we see in the calendar of the police station or the police diary of the police station, म्हणजे एखाद्या वर्षामध्ये इतके क्राईम होणार नाहीत. एखाद्या पोलीस स्टेशनमध्ये गेल्यानंतर त्यांची डायरी जर आपण चाचपली तर इतके क्राईम होणार नाही जेवढे क्राईम या इल मॅनर्डमुळे आणि इल ह्युमर्समुळे होत असतात. For one wife who gets a black eye from the otherwise good-natured husband, there are hundreds who live a life of the martyrdom under the shadow of the morose temper. See, third example that is given here to us. For one wife who get a black eye from the otherwise good-natured husband, there are the couple in the society, there are the family in the society, and the family members means the husbands and the wife are good to each other. But sometime the husband become outraged because of some this or that reason, and he become so outraged, or he becomes so harsh with his wife, and he becomes smash, or he smashed to his wife. That become blind. Blind म्हणजे एखाद्याने जर ठोसा लागवला तर तुम्हाला माहिती आहे त्या ठिकाणी अशी सुजलं आणि तो भाग काळा पडतो, त्याला ब्लॅक आय म्हणतात. हे तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की चांगल्या कपलसुद्धा आपल्या समाजामध्ये आहेत जे फार चांगले, म्हणजे आपण इथं बघतोय की अदरवाईज गुड नेचर हजबंड चांगले असतात, पण एखाद्याच अशा प्रकारची घटना घडते की त्याच्यामुळे तो पत्नीला मारतो आणि तिला तिथे जखम म्हणजे ब्लॅक म्हणतो. बट ॲट द सेम टाइम there are hundreds who live for martyrdom under the shadow of the morose temper. Morose, once again, the happy, rude people. There are such a couple in the society. There are the family in the society. There are the women in the society who becomes the victims of the drunkard people who are so indignant. They are the gamblers. They do not behave good with their family members. Often snatching the money from the hands of the women and torturing the women like anything. Many drunkards people are there. So who live a life of the martyrdom under the shadow of the morose temper. अशा प्रकारचे कुटुंब तुम्हाला दिसतील की बरेचसे दारुडे लोक असतात, विचित्र वागणारे लोक असतात, वात्रट लोक असतात या जगामध्ये, जे आपल्या फॅमिलीसोबत बरोबर वागत नाही, पत्नीला त्रास देतात, दारूसाठी पैसे मागतात, स्वतः तर कमवतच नाही, परंतु बरेच उदाहरणं मी या समाजामध्ये बघितलेली आहेत की जे आपल्याला पत्नीला त्रास देतात. परंतु त्या स्त्रियांचं जीवन कसं असेल बघा. या मोस्ट अनहॅपी त्यांचं मार्टिडम इन द सेन्स मार्टिडम म्हणजे ज्याला आम्ही शहीद होणं आपण ज्याला म्हणत असतो तसं नाही, तर इथे त्या स्त्रियांना आपलं संपूर्ण आयुष्य अशाच प्रकारच्या जीवनामध्ये झोकून द्यावं लागतं. नो सोल्युशन्स आर देअर. Because you know that such tones and traditions are there, such kind of orthodox preaching are there in the society, that a woman cannot get a read from such kind of husband in the society. So they need to cope up with the conditions, they need to comply with the conditions, they have to acclimatize with the conditions. No, the solutions are there. No decalogue could cover the vast area of the offenses, and no court could administer a law which govern our social civilities. No decalogue. Decalogue in the sense the decalogue means the 10 preaching of the Bible. धर्मग्रंथामध्ये आपण कसं वागलं पाहिजे, काय वागलं पाहिजे असं सांगितलं जात असतं. असा ते धर्म ख्रिश्चन लोकांचा असतो. त्याच्यामध्ये 10 प्रिचिंग आहेत, त्याला डेकालॉग म्हणतात. त्याला काय म्हणतात? द 10 कमांडमेंट्स ऑफ द बायबल. नो डेकालॉग कुड कव्हर द व्हास्ट एरिया ऑफ द ऑफेन्सेस. No such a preachings are there prescribed in the Bible that control the private manners of the people or the offenses of the people. Apart from this, no code could administer a law which govern our social civilities or speech that tilt our eyebrows and all our moods and minds. No such a laws are there. No such a government laws and rules are there which can control our private manners, that he has tilted his eyebrows in manners, or his countenance with me, or his behave with me in such a way I do not like his behavior. We cannot make a complaints over there. There are two things that control the human beings, that control the behavior of the human beings. One, that is religions and the preaching of the religions, and second is the law of the government. And both are helpless here to control the private manners and to control the private activities of the human being. We cannot lodge a complaint against of this private against of these eyebrows or tilting our eyebrows and countenance of the peoples and behavior of the peoples and ill manners of the people, ill humors of the people. We cannot lodge a complaints regarding this matter to anywhere, to any form of the society, to any police stations, or we cannot lodge a complaints in the court. We cannot stand this case in the court, or we cannot, or even the religion or the preaching of the religions, maybe Bhagavad Gita or the Quran or this Decalogue, cannot control the private manners of the people. And where should this Decalogue and the law should peep over your private manners and control? Of course, being a human, it is expected from the man that we should behave in such a way that it should not hurt to someone. We can apply here the strategy of the Mahatma Gandhi, that the truth and non-violence. Non-violence, ahimsa. Non-violence, ahimsa, and violence in the sense, it does not expect us just to blood the people, just to hurt the people, just to blight the people. Even if you hurt the temper, even you hurt the feelings of someone, it's a crime. It's ahimsa. So up to this, it's okay. In this video, we will go and we'll see a lot things about his ill manners and courtesy and decency in the next video. Till then, bye bye.